The cold, quiet morning was marked by an extraordinary show of respect. Roughly 50 people, a mixture of veterans, local K-9 patrols, family, friends, and even strangers who had been touched by the stories of his service, lined up to pay tribute to a fallen hero. Their faces were somber, but filled with deep reverence. The reason for their gathering? To honor Paco, a 14-year-old military working dog who had served 3 grueling tours in Afghanistan, sniffing out IEDs and saving countless lives in the process. Paco was no ordinary dog. He had faced the horrors of war, and in doing so, had earned his place in history and in the hearts of those who had served alongside him. His body, now frail from age and injury, bore the marks of a battle-worn soldier, a shrapnel wound that earned him the equivalent of a Purple Heart, scars from PTSD, and the weight of his years of service. His handler, Staff Sergeant Brad had been his closest companion for 8 of those years, and it was with a heavy heart that Brad made the excruciating decision to let him go. The sidewalk outside Harvey Oaks Animal Hospital in Omaha became a gathering place for those who understood the true meaning of sacrifice. First Sergeant Jason Stiermeyer, his voice thick with emotion, summed up the sentiment of everyone present when he said, "They're just as much a part of our brotherhood as anybody else. If you look at a dog, we look at them just like we look at any other soldier. All the dogs are one rank above the handler, just to show that respect. For us, it doesn't matter if they're a person or a dog, we revere them the same." Paco's service record was nothing short of remarkable. Over 3 deployments to the most dangerous corners of Afghanistan, Paco had sniffed out 33 confirmed IEDs, protecting soldiers and civilians alike from the unseen, deadly threat beneath their feet. On one fateful day, as he and Mersney were walking through the streets of a war-torn village, enemy fire tore through the air, leaving Paco with a 4 to 5-inch shard of shrapnel embedded in his side. Brad had to make the heart-wrenching call to have his partner airlifted out of the war zone. When Brad's mother-in-law, Cindy Elastovi, first heard the news, she could hardly believe it. I asked him, "They airlifted a dog out?" And Brad said, "Mom, he's a soldier just like I am." Their bond, forged in the hell of war, was unbreakable. The two of them had become inseparable, walking side by side through the darkest moments of their lives. After the injury, Paco returned to duty just weeks later, his spirit unbroken. His remarkable service continued, culminating in one of his final acts of heroism during the 50th anniversary of D-Day, where he stood proudly alongside his handler in Omaha Beach as part of the commemoration attended by President Barack Obama. But it wasn't just about the medals or the recognition. What made Paco a hero was the deep, unwavering commitment he had shown to his fellow soldiers, the countless lives he had saved, and the sacrifices he made without question. His bravery was never truly celebrated the way it should have been, as the U.S. military doesn't officially recognize war dogs with the honors they deserve. It's a fight that Brad had taken up to ensure that one day, the valor of military working dogs like Paco would be formally acknowledged, with proper burials and medals. Brad had vowed that if his efforts were unsuccessful during his lifetime, he would take Paco's remains with him, when he himself one day received his military burial. "It's not about me," Brad's mother-in-law said with a touch of sadness, "this is about Paco." When Paco retired from service in 2016 and was reunited with Brad, it was a bittersweet moment for the soldier and his canine companion. Paco had earned numerous accolades over the years, but none more profound than the deep, unconditional love and respect from those who knew him best. In Washington, D.C., he had been presented with the Medal of Bravery and the Distinguished Service Medal from Animals in War and Peace, but today, here, it was not the medals that mattered. It was the overwhelming outpouring of support from everyone who had gathered to honor him, to say goodbye to a soldier who, despite his 4 legs, had served with the same valor, courage, and dedication as any human soldier. "This is a very difficult time," Cindy Elastovi said softly, her voice choked with emotion, "but I think it warmed Brad's heart to see all these people out here in support for his dog." In that moment, it wasn't just about the end of a life. It was about the legacy of a warrior, a dog who had faced death time and time again, and who had never wavered in his duty. It was about the bond between a soldier and his dog, a bond that transcended species and defied the chaos of war. And it was about the reminder that, sometimes, the greatest heroes are the ones who don't wear human skin.